Good evening, everyone. This is Zero. Going to be doing a quick review of patch 3.15 for League of Legends Preseason. So we're just going to go through the champions. The other changes are minor. No real big deals. I might cover some of the jungle changes. For the most part, I'm just going to go over champions really quick. So Yasuo is in this patch, which means he could be released any moment now. And honestly, I don't think he's that interesting. But hey, that's just me. Jinx was probably the best release we'll have for a long time. Lucian is in here, which is the release before Jinx, and I'm going to talk about him because it makes me a little frustrated. But yeah, Yasuo's coming out. I'm not in a rush to get him. I probably won't get him for a long time. Now, the changes to the current champions, we have Ahri. So her laning phase is made a little bit stronger earlier on. Her base mana is 250 instead of 230, and she has a little bit more mana regeneration because they're saying a little thing here that they felt if you get behind, you're kind of boned. And they're trying to get rid of snowballing, so you can't snowball against Ahri as hard anymore. Fiddlesticks, Terrify doesn't last as long, but they reduce the mana cost. So that's sad because Terrify was a really good ability, and now it's cheaper but less efficient. Its maximum time is 2.25 instead of 3, and for a silence that can hit multiple people, that's a big deal. Or wait, I can't remember which one that is. Is that a silence? Q? No, Q is his fear. Yeah, so it reduces the fear, which is going to make his fear drain combo a lot harder to use or less efficient, depending on your skill level. For me, it'll make it less efficient. Or harder to use. I don't know. It'll make it whichever one is for noobs. Alright, and then his ult is considerably cheaper. Like, instead of 250 at level 3, it's still 100, which is crazy. Not that I didn't really ever struggle with that though. I only played Fiddle a few times, but I never really found I ran out of mana. They kind of missed Janna in the patch. Her ult is now 100 mana at all ranks. It's kind of what they've done with a lot of the supports, a lot of the champions. That's what they did with Fiddlesticks. That's what they did with Janna. I believe they did that with someone else recently too. Safeguard just doesn't shield minions or wards anymore. Only champions when Lee dashes to them. Not really a huge deal. I've never had that impact my game. Now here's the one that pisses me off. Lucian. Okay, so they come out with new champs. We all buy them, spend Riot points. I didn't specifically buy Lucian, but I've bought new things with Riot points. And so, let's say Lucian is one of the worst ADCs in the game. They nerfed his Q. Like, what is wrong with you? They nerfed the range. So the one thing Lucian had, which was that he could poke you and hit two people or what have you and do decent damage, they've nerfed it. Not that it was huge, because basically his ult is worthless in 99% of situations. If you're playing against somebody that has a brain, your ult is not going to do damage. And I don't see how that would improve with the pros because I'm a noob and I can flash out of his ult and just walk away, or I can even just walk out of his ult if he makes one wrong step. And now they've nerfed his main poke ability. Like, that's a little ridiculous to me. And so I'm sure everybody that bought him is even a little bit more pissed off now because I never play Lucians anymore. Like, then nobody uses him because he's terrible. And Jinx is so much better. So I'm pissed they nerf Lucian and not Jinx. Even if they nerf both, that's okay. Nerf Lucian into oblivion. That's fine. Nobody cares. But like, to leave Jinx super OP, that doesn't make any sense. So, A+, right? This is the first time you've ever pissed me off. There it is. I'm pointing decisively. Alright, on to Lulu. Nobody cares about Lulu. Her defensive capabilities were a little low, so she got a buff. Her base damage from her passive is up a little bit, about 20 points at max level, 24 points. A base shield increased. It's now stronger at lower levels and balances out at the end. Still 240 and 240. And wild growth again. I told you this happened to somebody else. I was reading this and I forgot. It's the mana reduce for her R. The mana requirement has been cut to 100 at all ranks from 150. I believe recently she was switched to 150 at all ranks. If not, I'm just an idiot and just ignore me. Rammus. Oh, you can't deactivate defensive ball curl. It goes on cooldown. Interesting. yeah, so it no longer goes on cooldown, and total cooldown of defensive ball curls remains unchanged, as deactivating the ability previously did not reduce its cooldown. Which, why would you be able to deactivate it, right? It doesn't make any sense. It doesn't harm you anyway. It doesn't use anything. And then Puncturing Taunt, the time has been reduced, which is really sad because it was one of the best abilities ever. You know, you just build a piss ton of armor, you get Thorn Mail, and then you taunt the ADC, and GG. Although, Tremors, his ultimate, does the splash damage all around him, only costs 100 mana at all ranks instead of 120. So there's actually two that I missed that are the 100 at all ranks. Sivir, we all saw this coming. She got a little bit of a nerf. Just everything's a little bit weaker. Her spell shield lasts half the time, which is a huge deal, actually, not just a little bit weaker. And then, yeah, her cooldown for ult has been put up, which I thought was an interesting nerf because that wasn't one of the things that I was like, oh, that's OP. And then her passive Fleet of Foot is reduced at all ranks except 18, and then it balances out to the same thing. Soraka didn't really get anything. She got 5 movement speed and 3.6 armor. I'm sure in some program somewhere, if they ever do choose to play Soraka ever again, this could come into effect. But whatever. Step in the right direction. I think she needs an ability that can make her a contender on the battlefield. But hey, who doesn't need their main damage ability to do 3 damage? So that's Soraka. Taric, his armor scaling reduced to 20% from 30. That's a big deal. And then his W has been, I believe, nerfed quite a bit. Yeah, it's been nerfed pretty much all around, which is unfortunate because Taric's not played very much, and I feel like he has a lot of potential. And then we're gonna dig through these. This is a funny one. Rupture slow after the knockup has always been 1.5 seconds. The tooltip was just incorrect. That has been like that since I played the game. It's been 3 seconds, and I never realized that wasn't accurate. Like, I should have. It's 1.5 seconds is what you notice in League of Legends. That's like a whole death. You can get a pentakill in that amount of time. And then there was a couple jungle items I wanted to go over. Just one sec. Oh no, it was the jungle creeps. So Ancient Golem and Lizard Elder both do 5 less damage, which is interesting because I didn't really find any of the jungles struggled. This might open a few more, but I don't think it'll be a huge deal. And then the gold from the white. Note the spelling. It says not red, blue, and white. What? Americans? Gold increased to 65 from 60, so that's going to be a huge deal. Yeah. And, oh, they've also changed assists. I forgot about that. Now it's 50% of kill reward, no matter what. Anytime in the game. It doesn't increase to 80. So, that's everything for this patch. Questions, comments, rude remarks, throw them down below, and I look forward to playing with you soon. And for anybody that loves cute things, now everyone will spawn with a Poro Snacks item in their trinket slot when they play on Howling Abyss. Isn't that so exciting? Okay, bye.